The fog rolled thick across the mountains as the Chinese special forces locked onto their silent screens, waiting for a signal that never came. Agent Violet, one of their best, had disappeared behind enemy lines. No movement, no voice, just silence. Inside the command van, tension crackled louder than the static in their headsets. "Have you seen Violet?" the commander asked, eyes narrowed. "He hasn't come out yet." Orders followed fast. "Wait until we're in position, then begin. If they move on Violet, fire at will." Below the ridge, Yama's team crept like shadows through the damp forest, boots sinking into the mud, fingers brushing triggers. Not a word spoken. Then, a faint figure flickered on the drone's feed. Was it Violet or bait for trap? Every second stretched like wire about to snap. This wasn't a rescue anymore. This was survival. And in this war, one mistake meant no one goes home. A voice cut through the comms, urgent, shaken, target sighted. "I've located Violet." The team froze. Thor clenched his jaw. They had trained for this, but something fell off. Violet stood motionless near an abandoned outpost, hands raised, but something in his eyes wasn't right. Then came the twist. You're undercover." One of the soldiers gasped, lowering his weapon in disbelief. Violet didn't answer. From the trailing movement, muzzle flashes, gunfire tore through the silence. "Take cover," Thor shouted. Chaos erupted. Bullets ripped through trees. Yama dove behind a boulder. One wrong step and they'd all be gone. Suddenly, Violet pulled something from his belt. A grenade, modified. "I changed the fuse." "1 second," he said coldly. "If you shoot me, you die too." Fingers trembled over triggers. The team stood frozen. Friend or traitor, Violet held their lives in his hand. This wasn't just an ambush. This was betrayal, and it was only beginning. Smoke curled through the broken foliage. Violet stood still, his thumb resting on the pin of a live grenade. "I modified this. 1 second delay. If you try anything, we all go." His voice was calm, too calm. Thor's hand hovered over his rifle. "Don't be stupid," he said, but Violet's eyes were unreadable. Yama whispered, "Just take the shot." Thor hesitated. 1 second was nothing. The grenade could drop, bounce, and explode before anyone had time to react. "Shoot, don't worry about me," Violet shouted. Was it a bluff or a death wish? Sweat ran down the soldiers' faces. No one moved. Then the forest cracked with the echo of a warning. "Grenade, get down!" The unit scattered. Dirt flew. Trees split. When the dust cleared, Violet was gone. What had started as a rescue was now a manhunt for someone who clearly didn't want to be saved. Back at the camp, the mood had shifted. With the dust settled, the team fell into old habits. Yama teased Thor about his hesitation. "When it comes to guns, you're sharp. But that slingshot? Hopeless." They laughed, trading stories from training, chasing girls on scooters in Guangdong, slipping in front of reporters, and getting chewed out by commanders. The jokes flew, but underneath it all was frustration. 2 months, one soldier muttered, not a single real fight. Even Thor admitted it, itching for a mission, something with fire. But they all knew the truth. Since that last failed operation, command didn't trust them. Because of one little incident, Yama said, one stupid landing, the others stayed silent. It wasn't just about trust, it was about purpose. Elite soldiers reduced to drills and waiting. Somewhere out there, Violet was on the run, and they were stuck, babysitting empty hours, until the call finally came. Thor was mid-sentence when the call hit the line. HQ just called. Stop training. Return immediately. Cheers erupted. The men scrambled to pack their gear. Let's move. Plane leaves in 10. This was it. Finally, action. At headquarters, Commander Lee Zahn stood waiting. "You arrived fast," he said. "Another team could have taken this mission." Thor stepped forward. "Give the order. We're ready." But what came next made jaws drop. "You'll be forming a female special ops unit," the commander said flatly. Silence. "You're kidding, right?" Thor asked. "Does this look like a joke?" The squad exchanged uneasy glances. They'd trained for war, not this. This isn't a combat mission, someone muttered. Who said missions need bullets? Lee Zahn replied. It wasn't what they expected. It wasn't what they wanted, but it was their order. And Thor had already promised. Face any danger without hesitation. Say it. Do it, Lee Zahn repeated. Thor nodded. We're in. The assignment felt strange. They weren't heading into battle. They were preparing others for it. The female cadets arrived, sharp, young, driven, but raw. The squad eyed them with doubt. They've never seen action, Yama whispered. Thor heard, but said nothing. Instead, he watched them move, awkward but determined. As the days passed, something changed. The women adapted fast. Techniques sharpened. Doubts faded. But Thor knew this wasn't just training. Something deeper was moving in the shadows. The higher-ups weren't just forming a unit. They were building a covert force for something big. Still, whispers about Violet haunted the camp. No one spoke openly, but everyone knew. He had escaped, and someone powerful didn't want him found. As the women trained harder, the air grew heavier. A new mission was coming, and this time, there would be no second chances. Night fell on the base like a curtain. Thor stood alone on the helipad, eyes scanning the sky. A new file had arrived, classified. Inside, satellite photos, encrypted messages, and one name circled in red, Violet. But something else caught his eye, footage showing Violet meeting with foreign operatives. He didn't vanish, Thor whispered. He defected. Before he could speak, alarms rang across the camp. Unauthorized breach. Chaos surged as the power flickered. This is no drill, shouted Lee Zahn. Weapons drawn. The team scattered into defensive positions. Explosions in the distance. Smoke rising. But this wasn't an attack. It was a message. Violet was coming back, and he wasn't alone. Thor clutched the file tighter. The real enemy wasn't outside the wire. It had already walked through it weeks ago, and now, the battle they'd all been waiting for was finally here. What would you do if your most trusted ally suddenly became your deadliest threat? Would you pull the trigger or wait 1 second too long? Comment below with Violet if you want a part 2. And if this story had your heart racing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because in this war, every second counts, and this was only the beginning. Stay alert, more missions are coming.